Good morning, beautiful people. Look, I hope you're having a good day. I've been up. It was a little before 6 a.m. I've been getting my office together, doing a little bit of studying, doing a little bit of reading, getting ready for my day, trying to create a long form video for the new YouTube. But I wanted to share this, with you guys. Max Licato, God is with you every day. This is my 365 day daily devotional. All right. It helps me, and you guys seem to like it, so I thought I'll share it with you. All right, so would you guys get on in here? I'm gonna go ahead and start the reading. All right, so January 11th, wait for the nudge. All right, it says wait for the nudge, and thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate that. Yeah, as you guys know, I got married yesterday, so that's dope. That's why this one is actually, when I read it this morning, I was like, yo, it's like a confirmation, you know what I mean? So it says, wait for the nudge. Since we are living by the Spirit, let us follow the Spirit leading in every part of our lives. And that's Galatians 5, verse 25. Is there anything in your life that needs to be removed? Any impediment to the impression of God's Spirit? We can grieve the Spirit with our angry words and resist the Spirit in our disobedience. We can even quench the Spirit by having no regard for God's teachings. Here's something that helps me stay in step with the Spirit. We know that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. God's Spirit creates and distributes these characteristics. They are indicators on my spiritual dashboard. So whenever I sense them, I know I'm walking in the Spirit. Whenever I lack them, I know I'm out of step with the Spirit. To walk in the Spirit, respond to the prompting God gives you. Don't sense any nudging, just be patient and wait. Abraham waited for his promised son. Moses waited 40 years in the wilderness. Jesus waited 30 years before he even began his ministry. God instills seasons of silence in his plan. Winter is needed for the soil to bear fruit. Time is needed for the development of a crop. And disciples wait for the move of God. Wait for him to move, nudge, and direct you. That's deep. Straight up. Makes me think, because you guys hear me sometimes come on here and talk about like the stagnant stuff with my page, right? Compared to what it was and seeing how it is. And I'm gonna be real with you, right? Since I came home, I had been feeling like, okay, you gotta get yourself right with God. Like, I knew this already. I've been feeling this. Like, you gotta get yourself right with God. And it's been rough to do because, you have all these other things influencing your life or trying to move you a certain way because, you got to pay bills. I got kids. You got to take care of your kids. And then your own psyche, like what you were compared to what you are, reality compared to a past reality that you once had. And all these things play a factor in how you move. But I knew, you're supposed to be doing something more. You're supposed to be walking with God, right? And I was always hesitant to even try to get back doing it the way that I'm trying to do it now, because I knew what it required. I know what's required and what comes with that. And, you talk about the patience part of it. It is, you got to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with life. You have to be patient with those around you when you're trying to do this walk. Because, and I'm not just meaning this walk with God, I mean this walk of life, because we want things to be in our time. We want life to be a certain way. And we forget that God's in complete control, and he's not going to give you what you're not ready for. He ain't going to give you what you're not ready for when you're trying to walk right with him. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to do what's right with God, he ain't going to give you what you're not ready for. And I tell myself that, in all things. So it's like, I waited to get married. I waited to get married after I was married for 10 years, then divorced, and then was living a different kind of life. Just messing around. I was doing the wrong things, and I didn't want to fully commit in the sense of marriage because, again, what comes with it. You have someone that you're accountable to. You have somebody that, has expectations of you, and you have to meet those expectations because you're fulfilling a role. So I was always hesitant to fill that role. It's like you want all the things that come with marriage without having for yourself to have to commit. So I did that. Same. Walking with God. You want all the benefits and all the things that come from living a life that's spirit filled, right? But you got to be willing to do what's required. And that's been the thing with me, man. Like knowing what's required of all of this, which is why I'm even coming on here and doing this with you guys, because I know that this is part of what I was supposed to have been doing. I was supposed to have been coming on here and reminding people the things that I'm being reminded of myself. Not force nothing on nobody. Just remind, like, yo, and life is already feeling greater. And you're like, how, bro? What's really changed? It's just inside. Like the feeling that I feel last night going to sleep, I was holding my wife. You know what I'm saying? I woke up this morning and I kissed my wife. And I don't feel guilty about nothing. I was feeling real guilty, man. Not being married, but living married. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to y'all, man. It was been something it's been on me. And now I'm very excited about being married. And it's crazy to me because, I've did this before, but not with this attitude, not with the understanding of myself that I have now. So, I'm learning myself now just to wait for the nudge, wait for the nudge. And that nudge was strong when it came to the whole marriage thing. The nudge is strong to change up the content that I put out. The nudge is strong. It's all right there. It's heavy inside of me. It's like to watch the way that I'm speaking, to do my best, to not respond out of anger to people. That's been something I've been biting my tongue. Like yesterday, let me tell you guys, my baby girl got off the bus, Nanas, and she was like, had tears in her eyes. I said, what's going on with you? What's wrong? She said, well, a boy was trying to pick on Messiah, and I told him to leave my brother alone, and he hit me. And fury like came, and so I almost went behind the school bus. I was literally like, I'm about to go behind the school bus, and I'm gonna talk to this kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk to the bus driver. And I was so mad. I'm like, man, I'm gonna talk to his dad. Man, if his son wants to put his hands on my little girl, then okay, maybe I need to talk to his dad. Like cash, just regular cash came out real quick in my mind. This is all in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna find out who this kid's dad is, and then I'm gonna beat this dude's dad up in front of the kid, so that way the kid knows, there's consequences to your actions. I'm thinking all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm like, nah, bro. When I came through the door, I came in the house, I was still mad. I tell Champagne what happened, and I'm like, I'm calling the school. So I called the school. Yeah, who do I need to talk to about somebody putting their hands on my daughter? It was another student, And they're like, well, sir, you got to call transportation. I said, well, let me get the number. So I called transportation. I say, hey, man, what's going on? My daughter was on you guys' bus, and the little boy put his hands on my daughter. And I'm angry. And he's like, hold on, sir, calm down. And I'm like, that's when I got checked, because I'm like, this dude didn't do nothing to me. This is not the dad. This is the coordinator that's not even on the bus. He's just there. And he starts telling me his play. He goes, I'm really sorry that happened. We don't have a person to be on the bus with them. And we don't have, or we had a substitute bus driver today. We're understaffed. And I said, I understand. I said, I'm just upset because I don't want nobody putting their hands on my daughter, and really, and then like, that's when it started to kick in, started to come back to reality. All them thoughts that I had, which I didn't voice, it was just thoughts. I'm just like, I came back to reality. And it was like, well, I would really just like to talk to the dad and maybe talk to the kid. And then I thought in my mind, does this kid have a dad? Does this kid even have a dad, right? So then I start in my mind feeling bad for the kid. And I'm like, oh, and they tell me they're gonna kick the kid off the bus. And I'm like, well, dang, I didn't tell them they don't got to do that, but I thought it later after I got off the phone. I'm like, oh man, I'm about to inconvenience a whole family right now because a kid, had an incident. I don't know what kind of kid this is, So Monday, I'm going up there to the school, and I'm gonna talk to the principal, tell him, look, let the kid be on the bus. I just like to, talk to the kid and maybe talk to his parents if I could, and then try to encourage the kid. You know what I mean? Like, look, bro, that's not how you handle things. You don't put your hands on nobody. More importantly, you don't put your hands on a little girl. You don't know, you don't know who her family is, and it could have costed you big. Like right now, you might have to deal with those consequences. You're not going to be able to ride the bus no more. Now your parents going to have to bring you out and it's cold and it's, and just try to talk to them. But again, that's that growth, and that consciousness kicked in, because it's like, hold on, you're not Cash that's out in the streets, bro. You are Cash the dad. You are Cash the believer. You are Cash that's really trying to set an example, right? You're trying to do something different in this world. So why you gonna act the same as every parent that you see on a YouTube video or a TikTok video that gets upset about their kid? And you want to teach your kids that? That's what you want to show them? So I had to really check myself, man. And again, it all comes from that nudge, wait for that nudge. I felt that nudge. This is just me. This is what I'm going through now, man, with the changes. And you might be in the same season of your life right now, man. That's the whole point of me doing this. You might be in the same season of your life. It's not easy. I mean, it's not easy dealing with your own thoughts and catching yourself when you slip. But it's a verse that says to do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And the only way that happens is if you spend a little bit of time, in God's word, in prayer, and really just being accountable, to yourself, like inside yourself. Is this right? The fruits of the spirit, like it said in the past, in the devotional we just read, the fruits of the spirit. If these things aren't aligned with the fruits of the spirit, right, then you probably shouldn't be doing them. Don't beat yourself up. Just be a little better. That's it. That's all we all trying to do, is be better than the person that we was yesterday. That's your competition. Yesterday you is your competition. Maybe an hour ago you is your competition. But that's it. All right? That's all. God's looking at your heart. I believe that. God's looking at your heart. And so just make sure your intentions are right in whatever you do. And that's my word. All right? That's my word for y'all. I know I go off. I get a little bit long-winded, but yeah, man, that's it. That's just, my bad. I've been slacking these last 2-3 days with the daily devotionals, but I'm back. The baby's getting on a better schedule. As you can see, I'm up earlier than I normally was. So yeah, God bless y'all, man. Unite, don't fight, be a street light, because only you can be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart. And that's a fact. So go out there, man. Go out into the world, be a blessing, bless somebody else. It's a blessing to yourself. See you guys in a little bit. Work on these videos. Peace.